Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a company that promises to sober you up quickly and safely. But is it living up to the hype? We are going to analyze Safety Shot's latest filing and separate the truth from the marketing buzz. Safety Shot, formerly known as Jupiter Wellness, made a big splash with its Sure Shot dietary supplement, a drink designed to lower blood alcohol levels. But the real question is, are the financials as promising as the claims? Let's decode this report. But first, if you like this kind of straight talk, hit that subscribe button and join our Discord community linked in the description for more in-depth discussions. Scroll Dre 33287407 scroll, things is N407 scroll, X is an amendment, meaning it's revising a previous filing. This specific filing amends a registration statement, which means they're updating information related to offering securities like stock. Scroll amendment can know one scroll. It's amendment number 1 to a registration statement on Form S1, which is what new companies or companies offering new securities for the first time usually file. This means Safety Shot is likely still in the process of getting its offerings just right. Safety Shot Inc. is incorporated in Delaware, which is a pretty common choice. Their employee identification number, or EIN, is 8324558880. This is like a social security number for a business. Scroll entity address line 1, Cladery, Indiantown, odd scroll. They are located in Jupiter, Florida. If you are planning to send them a letter, scrolling to personnel name, Exon Jarrett Kevin Scurrin. If you need to contact them, Jarrett Boone is the CEO. This form is filed to register additional securities, which means the company is planning on selling more shares of its stock. They check the box indicating they are doing so on a continuous basis, meaning the sales can happen over an extended period. They are a non-accelerated filer and a smaller reporting company and emerging growth company. Translation, they aren't a huge company and they are taking advantage of exemptions offered to smaller and newer companies. This registration statement can be amended to delay its effective date. This gives the company flexibility on when it will start selling the securities. This prospectus relates to the resale of 1,233,507 shares of common stock. Of these, 833,507 shares were issued to 3ILP to settle a lawsuit, and 400,000 shares were issued to Paul L. Kessler from Bristol Capital for advisory services. As of May 28, 2025, the stock price was approximately $0.34. The stock price was approximately $0.32 per share. Here we have the cautionary statement about forward-looking statements in the filling. This is essentially the company saying, hey, we are making our best guess, but don't come crying to us if things don't pan out. Here is what is being offered: 233,507 shares of common stock. However, the company will not receive any of the proceeds, but instead the selling stockholders will. The company is trading under the NASDAQ symbol SHOT. Now, for the risk factors that might affect their business, including rapid technological changes, competition, and their ability to develop and maintain their brand. They admit that the markets they compete in are highly competitive, and they will need to develop new products to succeed. They are also subject to government regulation and that the products may not meet health and safety standards. Finally, their operations are subject to interruptions such as natural disasters, fire, power shortages, and pandemics. One key risk they point out is that their clinical trials may not be successful. Identifying, screening, and enrolling participants is critical to their success. If they can't enroll enough people or experience delays, it will impact their ability to complete trials on time. They are also subject to the risk that the participants could drop out of the study. They are subject to extensive government regulation regarding their manufacturing activities, and failure to comply with these laws and regulations as they currently exist or as modified in the future may increase their costs. That includes issues around formulation, labeling, packaging, and advertising of their products. In addition, if they are unable to secure new drug approval, if required, for the Sure Shot dietary supplement, the agency could claim that the product is misbranded and require that we recall, repackage, and relabel the product and impose civil and/or criminal penalties. The accountant has indicated doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. To further illustrate, the company has entered into a liabilities settlement program with Silverback Capital Corporation, where they are attempting to pay down their debts by issuing freely trading securities. This settlement is subject to approval by the court, which could reject the program. The company may need to raise additional capital in the future, which could cause dilution to existing stockholders. Let's quickly skim some of the most recent developments section. The company entered into an equity disbursement agreement with Maxim Group, which allows the company to offer and sell shares of its common stock from time to time, up to an aggregate offering price of $5,000 in dollars. They have a consulting agreement with Core 4 Capital Corp, which entails Core 4 providing services to the company, and the company issuing 1,250,000 shares of the company's restricted stock. The company also has entered into employment agreements with John Gullius, Jordan Scher, and Jarrett Boone, who will all serve as executive officers. The company owns 5 patents, including one for the composition of the Sure Shot dietary supplement. Okay, let's look at the numbers. As of March 31, 2025, they had 329,285 DAI in cash, which is actually less than the 348,824. They also reported an accumulated deficit of 128, which continues to get worse, from $115,090 of 347 from the previous period. For the 3 months ended March 31, 2025, sales were only $42,101 and cost of sales was $21,112, and they had a gross profit of $20,809.24, which resulted in a net loss from continuing operations of $48,411 per $24, which resulted in a net loss from continuing operations of $48,411,834, which resulted in a net loss from continuing operations of $48,411.85 share. What if Safety Shot acquired Yerbei, a beverage company that sells yerba mate drinks? Well, the pro forma numbers estimate total sales to be $60,608, but cost of sales is still quite high. Net loss from continuing operations ends up being $51,744,544 and $547 up being $500 out of some. Continuing operations ends up being $51,744,544 $44,508. Now onto the management team. We have Jarrett Boone as CEO and Jordan Scher as president. So what's my take on Safety Shot? The company is trying to make a splash in the beverage industry with its novel product. However, the numbers paint a pretty bleak picture. Cash reserves are low and their accumulated deficit is eye-poppingly high. This all raises big questions about their ability to fund future growth. One of the biggest opportunities is their ability to partner with other companies to expand the product to new locations. One of their biggest risks is that their accountant has indicated doubt about their ability to continue as a going concern. Ultimately, Safety Shot has a potentially interesting product, but they need to be able to make their operations profitable and raise additional financing. Alright, that's our breakdown of Safety Shot's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.